This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob, our good friends at GMT, who make some of the best games I've ever played, and I love what they do. We have recently got a game called Ancient Civilizations of Middle East. Now, you may have heard of Inner Sea. Well, this is kind of a spin-off of it. We're going to go down, we're going to take a look at it, we're going to talk a little bit about the differences here, and then we're going to come up and we are going to talk about another great game from our good friends at GMT. So there is no way I can fit this entire board on here. I've tried a few different things, but this thing is just massive. I can slide it a little bit and show you that basically the Inner Sea would start from over here, but now we're talking about and I'm going to push this camera back a little bit so we can kind of just try to get everything kind of trying to settled in here a little bit. But as you can see, we're dealing with the Middle East. There's a lot of different things that are going to go on in this one here. You're going to see some different tracks here that you may not have seen in prior editions. You got your civilization turn, your epochs turn. You're going to be dealing with deities, and they are going to be in the form of these blocks and these cards. Deities play a big part in this, religious, this is a very religious part of the world, and how that plays through. The art on the cards are just absolutely beautiful. Again, your fate cards, just done so well, and how they come into play. You're going to have a whole bunch of great things the player aids running through your NPCs as far as playing solitaire. This is a very high solitaire game. The order of competition, NPC enemies, or you can play. You don't have to play them as enemies either. Your sequence of play, your stronghold step, your retirement steps, your acquisition steps, resettlement, deployment steps. You're going to go through a card phase, and then a completion phase, and then the reckoning phase. Okay, a couple things that are very different. In the book here, the book is just broken up perfectly. Your rule book. You've got your giant playbook, but we're going to go over the rule book. But I wanted to show the playbook. Again, there's different solitaire competition you could play, solitaire scenarios that they have. A ton of different stuff to really go through and play this. This is just it's a sister to Inner Sea, but there are just enough different things that just make this just so incredible. You're going to have your different cards for depending on what you're going to be playing: Egypt, Babylon, and so forth and so on. The Sea People, and so forth and so on. But the real thing is how well this book is taken care of. Okay, so what's the differences between the Inner Sea and here? Those who've played the first game of this series, which is Inner Sea, should be able to jump right in, as both games use almost all the same rules, which is one of the reasons I'm not going to go over it all. And the mechanisms with 3 significance. Homelands, okay, that's a big change. In Inner Seas, there were 10 homelands, 1 per each civilization in the game. In Middle East, there are 22 homelands and 17 civilizations. Some civilizations have 2, or in the case of the Medias and Persians, 3 home areas from which to choose, depending upon setup or the scenario selection. You're going to run into terrain here. Now, terrain, you're going to see different things with terrain here, which is new. You're going to find that on the map and how they're going to play out. There's going to be different terrains. There's going to be fertile, plain, mountains, and desert. Basically, green, light brown, dark, and sandy. That's why all the different colors here. Deities. This is where we were talking about the gods, how they come in. This is a very restricted, religious area, and it really plays heavily into this particular game, and it does it so well. It just adds things, just that little bit of kick that sometimes I think it needed. You're going to go through your phases: your growth phase, your card phase, your competition phase, your reckoning phase, and then the end of the epoch phase, which at the end of the fifth here. Very beautifully done rule book. It's going to run you about 20, I want to say about 25 pages or so, and then there's some really great notes and examples on how to do certain things here. It really does. Barbarian hordes are another thing that are going to be a real problem, especially when you are playing the solo version of this. This is just another great game from GMT and how they do things. This map is massive. It's beautiful. It's thematic. It does everything right that GMT is noted for, and just a wonderful, wonderful experience. Ancient civilizations of the Middle East. Let's go up top and get my final thoughts. Again, like I said, I wasn't going to explain everything. I just wanted to give you a nice look and try to fit this whole board in here, which is just absolutely impossible to do. Everybody over at GMT just puts so much hard work and thoughtfulness into it. The quality is ridiculous, of course. The matted board. This one, if you're a fan of Inner Sea, it actually you're kind of going east a little bit more, and you're dealing in the Middle East region. The thing that makes this so different is the deities, how they play a part. The high, very high solitaire play, the quality, which is ridiculous, the cards, which add so much. You could play it as a war game. You could play it as a, almost in some ways, in some ways you can just, you can either play it warfare, or you can kind of be more like it's a building type of scenario that it has built into it. It really is a unique games, because it's so many different games in one, and it's kind of hard to explain all the things that you go through. Your Odyssey of the Four Epochs. It really handles things. This Middle East is, the biblical era, and where it really just kind of really shines in this and does such a fantastic job. This is so well thought out. From art direction, with the beautiful, beautiful cards. I'm going to check here. That's Roger McGowan. To your basic game design with McLaughlin, Christopher Vorder. I hope I'm not killing you. And what they have done here and created is just absolutely fantastic. This is a must-have if you are a war gamer like myself. I'm sorry I butchered the names. It's Christopher Vorder, Bruegge. Okay, hopefully I got that, and Mark McLaughlin. Hopefully I got that right. I'm very bad at pronouncing names, especially on the fly. But this is one that must be in your collection. If you don't have Inner Seas, go get that. Go get this. The art, the gameplay, without all the bad jokes, this is just one of those games that you need to have in your collection. You won't be disappointed, I promise you on that. I only tell you if I really believe it, and this is one that will not be leaving my collection. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.